Hello and welcome to A Cup of Spirituality. We are so glad that you are here. Now, this is a space where spirituality feels like having a cozy chat over a cuppa with friends. Now, each month we explore topics that you've been asking about, from grounding and connecting with angels to understanding chakras, crystals, and so much more. And we would love for you to say hello in the comments, like this video, share it with anyone who'd enjoy it, and let us know your thoughts and questions. You know, this show is all about you, your curiosity, your journey, and your growth. And if we don't get to your question in this episode, then don't worry. It may become a topic of a future show. We are here to create a community of learning, connection, and exploration. And most importantly, this is a safe space, judgment-free, where everyone is welcome to share and grow.
Absolutely. We're building a space where people can connect, learn from each other, and get information from like-minded souls. This is perfect whether you're new to spirituality or whether you're well established on your journey. There's always something that we learn along the way, and that's why this is such a lovely just such a lovely show to watch, because there's no airs and graces. There's just, we just have a nice chat and you get some useful facts along the way. And there's just always something new to be discussing and exploring. In fact, we always chat so much beforehand. I'm surprised we do actually make it on here. So let's settle in and have our favourite cuppa and dive into our month's topic, which here's my cuppa. And we're going to be talking about spiritual tools, which is quite an important one, because there are a lot of spiritual tools out there, and we're going to give you the lowdown on what works for us and why.
Exactly. But before that, I suppose you are wondering who the heck are we? That we can talk about this. So I'm Ray, and I'm a spiritual guide and healer who is passionate about helping you reconnect with your divine presence and step into your purpose. And through angelic Reiki, angel oracle cards, guide meditations, exploring past and future lives, I support you in healing your past and creating a soul-aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me, with the right tools and guidance, we can all connect with our higher selves, embrace transformation, and live a life with abundance and fulfillment. And I'm here with Sally to hold space for you as we explore spirituality together in this safe and supportive community. And Sally?
Yeah, that's right. So, both Ray and I are passionate about building a spiritual community. We both have online communities like this, and we also have in-person communities. But we both have sort of slightly different strengths and what really lights us up. For me, it's all about empowering women. So I work with Mary Magdalene. I facilitate women's circles. I'm a women's trauma-informed somatic coach, which is about releasing trauma from the body. I teach spiritual development, connect people with their guides, anything spiritual to do with the psychic aspects. That's the sort of thing I do. Look at my website if you want to find out more about what I do.
Exactly. So we are going to be talking about spiritual tools today, and we've chosen a few that we think are fairly important. But obviously, if you've got any that you think we don't mention today, or you think deserve a topic, or you want to ask about them, then please do let us know in the comments. And if we can answer them on this show, we will do. If not, we can always circle back. So Sally, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about sacred geometry.
Cool.
So sacred geometry it's the patterns that we find in nature. For example, when you see a fern about to unfold, that's actually the Fibonacci sequence that we see in maths. Also, when you see the twists of DNA, that's replicated in the way some plants grow. And once you start cottoning onto sacred geometry, you can see it everywhere. One of the biggest, so you have these sacred geometric solids, and this is one, it's called a Merkabah. And as you can see, it's made up of different triangles. Now, this was even used, this solid was even, not this particular one, but this shape was even used in the times of the Essenes. So back in the day when Jesus and Mary Magdalene were around, and they used it then for what we use it for now. They called well, the Merkabah is a Hebrew word, and it translates as light, spirit, body, chariot. So that gives a clue to its purpose. You can use this for doing things like astral traveling. And if you're finding it difficult to lift out of your body if you're practicing astral traveling, having a Merkabah will really help. They use these to do things like astral traveling in Essene times and at other times, thousands of years ago, and they still use today. And even just holding this, I can feel the energy of this. And it's what I like about it is it symbolizes masculine and feminine, heaven and earth, and the etheric and sort of the solid matter, if you like. And that's why it works so well, because it's really the essence of divine feminine and masculine encapsulated into this beautiful shape. I've got a few of these around, and I have to be honest that when I hold mine, when I remember when I'm doing like astral traveling or that kind of thing, you do get more of a lift when you're using one of these. And the other thing to do is to program it to do that. So you cleanse it under a full moon, and then you hold it and you say, my intention is to astral travel, or my intention is to lift out of my body. And if you do that, I think we've probably talked about this in other episodes, if you do that, then the crystals, actually they're liquid inside, they're not actually solids, and that liquid has a consciousness, and it will hold that memory, and it will work to that end to help us to astral travel. So I've started with the most outlandish one, I suppose, but for me, and this is one of my mainstays.
Yeah, no, the Merkabah is brilliant. I mean, with around where I do angelic Reiki, the Merkabah is, quite an important part of the angelic Reiki process. So, it's great that you've actually brought that one out. And sacred geometry is so amazing. I mean, one of the things I enjoyed as a child was I loved kaleidoscopes.
Yeah.
And what do kaleidoscopes do, which I didn't realise as a child, but obviously I do now. And again, that's, one of the things I think we've spoken about before. You look at your childhood and see what you enjoyed doing, and it connects with what you do now. And those shapes become sacred geometry.
Oh, I hadn't even joined those dots till now. And one of my favourite toys was also a kaleidoscope. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
So
Ray.
if you enjoyed kaleidoscopes as a child, then there's a very good chance that you were meant to be doing spiritual work, because you're connected
Wow.
to that sacred geometry.
I had no idea. Wow. I just got to
Yeah.
join those dots. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's just one. No, it's just one of those things. When I looked back at my childhood about what I enjoy doing and how it, works into now, and that was one of the things. And it was like, oh yeah, that's why sacred geometry. Duh.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought. Hadn't even joined those dots.
Yeah. I keep looking to see if I can find a decent kaleidoscope now, but they're just not the same as they were. I mean, we are going back quite a long few years. Um,
Oh no.
I don't think they're the same as they were. Never know.
No.
Maybe one day.
Might be nice to do some of my spiritual development classes with them though.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just. Oh, yeah. You can still get there. But yeah, it might be an idea.
I want a pretty one though.
Oh,
Pink.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Get a pretty one.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall I go next?
Yeah, go on then.
All right, so I'm going to go on to aura sprays, and they are one of my favourite tools. And I think mainly because they're simple and they also work on more levels than you might think. So I do actually make my own blend, which I've got
Ooh.
one here, which is got glycerin, but it's also got the essential oils of geranium and lavender, because they're the two main oils that I use in in my therapy room. So that's always going on the in the diffuser. And inside, I've actually got a couple of aqua aura beads. So my aqua aura bracelet broke, and when I rethreaded it, I sort of like put a couple of smoky quartz in, but I had a couple of beads left over, so I actually put them in to here. So when I
Great
shake it,
idea.
it it sort of like mixes it all up. And the lovely thing about using the same spray regularly is that the scent becomes part of a ritual. And literally, as soon as I spray it and I smell it, my body and energy know that it's time to relax and connect. So it actually helps me get into that meditative state, that spiritual healing state. And anyone can make their own sprays using essential oils, crystals. You can even make sprays with moon water. There are so many things that you can use to make aura sprays, and they can really shift the energy in a room almost instantly. You can spray them around your aura. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's just gone on my glasses
Spray
now.
some for me. Spray some for me. It'll come through.
Right. There we go. So yeah, you've round your aura, although do mind your glasses when you're doing it. Your workspace or a client space, it's like giving the energy a gentle reset, fresh, calm, and aligned. So yeah, I love I love this. Someone said I ought to make more of them and sell them, but I just normally tend to use my own one in my own bottle and just make it every time I finish it. So that is aura. So that is aura sprays.
Lovely.
I've got that beautiful smell around me.
I
So
can almost, I know it sounds weird, but maybe you spraying it, it's almost like I feel I can smell it.
Sank, it's amazing. I previously had a guest on my Angels and Destiny show, and I'm a guest on his show next year, and he actually does use incense, and you can smell it. So yeah,
I honestly feel I honestly I can smell the geranium coming through.
yeah, it's
Oh, I
lovely.
love it when stuff like this
I
happens.
I love it. So if any of the my regular clients or people that come to any of my workshops or events or anything, if you're watching this, can you smell the smell that you normally smell when you walk in my room? And you're gonna, in a minute, you're even gonna get even more of a smell of it. Well, you're not, because I haven't got a candle with me. But anyway, that's going, not candle and match on me. But let's move on to, what are you going to talk about next, Sally? What
Yeah.
other spiritual tool have you
I'm
got?
actually keeping with the sacred geometry just for one more thing.
Mm.
I haven't brought in my pyramid to show you, but it's pyramids. So I've got this copper pyramid, and the person who made it has got to put a base on it, and you can put different crystal grids. So you make the grid, and it's too big to. I did actually get my husband, and we were trying to like see if I could get it, but there's no way I could get it into the camera. But so it's a copper grid. The base has got copper pyramid. It's got a base with a crystal grid, and then I know we've spoken about crystal grids before, but the copper pyramid amplifies the energy of the grid. And you can actually on don't know if I'm allowed to say, but Etsy, you're allowed to you can buy massive copper pyramids like made out of copper pipes, and you can actually make I'm going to save up and do it for my workspace, for my cabin. You can get a massive one, and then you can meditate in it, and it absolutely amplifies that energy. It gives you such a lift. I've been in somebody's house who's got the pyramids in the corners of their room. Honestly, it really works. And you feel this pull from your crown chakra. You can feel the pull, and it's like it's forming a vortex. So it's connecting all that energy and the light that we have in our bodies and our systems. It's almost like it's pulling it out of our cells, making a vortex, connecting up to what I call the golden grid of light. It's the energy of source. And then you can feel all that energy whirling around your body, getting you deeper and more focused in your meditations. It's pretty phenomenal. and it's just a way of amplifying energy. And if you think about it, that's what the original purpose of the pyramids was for drawing in energy, and they believe it was used for some form of like electricity or some form of energy generation. So that does actually make sense that when we use copper pyramids in our meditations, we experience these big energy lifts. So yeah, pyramids.
Cool. Well, I think I might have to get myself at some point when I've got the money a copper pyramid. Although, well, I'd put it in my house. I have no idea.
Yeah, but you can see, but the benefit is because you just dismantle them until your meditation group, and
Mm.
just keep them in the corner, and then you just put them back together when you need them, because it's a bit like a tent or something, isn't it? Really.
Oh.
So yeah,
Oh.
yeah. No, it's honestly it's well worth it.
Yeah, because I think you can get obviously you can get the ones that can go on table. I think you can also get ones you can put in your head as well, can't you, or
Oh
something,
wow.
or hang. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere. You sort of like hang it and you sit underneath it. Although whether it'll have the same effect, I don't know, as sitting in
I
one.
just think there's something really powerful. I'm just thinking what you could also do is you could grid your house. People can grid their houses, and so make it the base of a square base pyramid, visualize the point above the roof, and energetically grid your house, couldn't you? People could do that. So your whole
Good.
house becomes like a copper pyramid.
Yeah, because I've used the crystal grid before. There was somewhere I was working and the energy of the office wasn't that good. So I got in one early one morning and I put a clear crystal quartz in every corner of the room, dropped it behind furniture, managed to get it under a carpet. So four. And then it wasn't actually a pyramid, but it was actually I then set the intention and focus that there was one in the middle and it all just all connected and created a energy, and it really
Yeah.
calmed down the office. Maybe I should have thought about doing a pyramid. I know, for future reference.
Yeah, but I mean that's amazing that you did that, and it's testimony to the power of crystals, isn't it? How and energy, we're all made of energy. The
Yeah,
earth, everything is made of energy, and we can like harness it and utilize it for people's greatest good and do something like that. It's amazing.
yeah, yeah. No, brilliant. Yes, I like that idea of pyramids. So far, for anyone watching, do you use aura
Yeah.
sprays? Geometry, Merkabah, pyramids. If you had an experience of being in a pyramid, let us
Mm.
know. Um,
Has anyone been in a real pyramid like in Egypt? I want to know that.
oh, I have.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've been to Egypt twice. I've been in the pyramids.
Wow.
Yes, yes, absolutely amazing.
Is the energy really strong? Like, do you feel it lifting from your crown chakra? How? Just tell me. How did you feel? Tell me all about it.
It depends on who you've got round you. If there's lots and lots of tourists and everything, then you don't get as much. I didn't get as much as a pool as when there was less of us. I mean, I'd love to literally just be a very small group doing work in the pyramid. But the couple of times I went, there were too many people around to do that. But yeah, no, it's amazing going in there. Of course, getting in there, you kind of like have to crawl through narrow spaces
Would you?
before you get into the big space. So don't wear a backpack because you might get a little bit stuck.
Oh,
I didn't get stuck, but you could see that people, if you've got a rucksack on, it can get a little bit tight going in there. But yeah, it was amazing. If you ever get a chance to go in a pyramid in Egypt, then definitely go in a pyramid.
oh, I have to save or
Okay.
something.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and the Egyptians are absolutely lovely people as well. I mean, the both times I've been, that's probably one of the two safest places I've ever been, because they do look after the British so well. They really do.
Oh,
And
okay.
even with all the whatever might go on around, you feel really safe there, and they really do look after you. So yeah,
Okay, that's worth knowing.
Yeah, definitely worth it if you're planning on going to Egypt. So anything else about pyramids?
I think that's it. But I want to start Googling now, a trip to Egypt now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, gotta go, gotta go. Yeah, not to Sharm el Sheikh though, because
No?
everyone goes to Sharm el Sheikh. If you want to go, you actually want to go to Luxor, or you want to go to Cairo. Maybe even do a short cruise on the Nile. I did a 3-day Nile cruise, and that's no,
Hmm.
yeah, it was good. Long time ago, many years ago. I think the last time I went, it was working with doing voluntary work with Animal Care Egypt. So I'm probably looking about probably nearly 10 years ago, I think, last time I went. But yeah, if I'm meant to go back, I'll go back.
And
And
if I'm meant to go, the opportunity will present itself.
exactly, and I do know that some tombs have since been uncovered, so there's more to see if and when I do go back. But we're digressing, going into Egypt.
Sorry,
So
that's me.
obviously,
That's me.
that was pyramids. So going on from aura sprays, let's go on to smudging, or energy clearing. And there's so many ways to do it. Obviously, you can use the aura sprays. But it really depends on what feels right for you. I mean, I personally love using Palo Santo. So I'm not going to light it, and I always try and get very ethical. You know, ones that have, if you are looking at getting Palo Santo, then obviously make sure that whoever you're buying it from, they only use the broken bits that have fallen off the trees. They don't actually destroy the trees themselves. And it's really straightforward. You just literally light it I'm not doing it now. As soon as that starts smoking, you blow it out, and then you just go around wafting it around, and I like this because it's a warm, sweet, gentle energy, and it goes really well with my aura spray in the room, or my or the um, diffuser smell of the geranium and lavender in my room. Of course, the main one that most people know is sage. That's always a good one. I've actually got sage growing in my garden. It's not the original indigenous people's one, but that's very rare now. But you can use any sage. Just dry it. Sage grows everywhere. Just dry it out, and you can create your own bundles. Again, you can use, if you can't get hold of anything to burn and spray, then you can use other things for clearing room, for clearing energy, including sound bowls. I forgot to bring my sound bowl in here with me. And another way is clapping. Clapping can actually clear the energy of the room. So if you're going somewhere and maybe the person's asthmatic, or they can't, they've got smoke detectors, or they're the sound bowls or crystal bowls or tuning forks, so anything doesn't feel right for them, then you can literally go round, and I've done this, and you literally go and clap around the whole place, going into the corners, and that is shifting the energy, releasing the negative and bringing in the positive energy. So again, it's your intention of, it's like I'm cleansing the room when you're smudging or using the sound bowl or clapping. It's the intention of clearing the space. And, that is what it is. It's intention. Because at the end of the day, it's the intention behind what you're doing that actually clears the energy, and not just the tool itself. So you can smudge your space, your aura, or even your tools before you use them. So before I take anything into my therapy room, it has to go through some Palo Santo before it even goes into my therapy room. And when I buy new clothes, they have to be washed, and then sort of like, kind of like a little spring. Not every time I wash, but only if it's something new. and I just love walking into a room, wafting the smoke or the sound, and just imagine and see and know that any heaviness is being lifted away. And it's it's a lovely way to prepare a space for meditation, healing, or any kind of spiritual work. And another thing that I have been known to use with intention is a whirlwind. And that's where I see, feel, imagine, or know a whirlwind starting in the middle of the room and then just spinning all around. And it just takes in all the energy. I think we might have mentioned this before, and I've used it on public transport as well. So so again, if you're watching, what things do you use to smudge and clear space? I'd love to hear from you. What about you, Sally? What do you use?
So before every session in my cabin, which is the equivalent of my healing space, I use a sound bowl to start with, and then I use incense, to be honest. But I've got a few ladies on a couple of my groups who can't tolerate incense, so I use an aura spray for that. And I sometimes visualize golden light, again going to a pyramid shape, going to the corners of the room, and I visualize them kind of like twirling and swirling and growing like vines, and just lifting the vibration, lifting out anything that doesn't need to be there. Because like you said, it's the intention behind it rather than, in a way, the actual system you use. And as long as the intention's there, and I'm definitely one for working with energy and raising vibrations and things. And you can feel the difference, even just visualizing golden light weaving its way up and out of the roof of the cabin. So yeah, they're my favourites. But like you, whenever I get anything new, I just put it through incense before I bring it into the cabin. And also I've got the decks of oracle cards I teach with. They're kept separately from the oracle cards I use myself in the house, so that I can keep the energies different. And yeah, it's all about psychic hygiene and energetic hygiene, really.
Yeah, totally. And Lou says sage, but liking the idea of a sand bowl. And where would I get an aura spray, please? Well, you can either make them, as I said at the beginning, I make mine, and you can Google online how to make it. You can buy them from online, from shops, from what you call them, well-being events. Quite often they sell them, but I find that if you make your own, you can get the right combination of essential oils. So if there's particular essential oils that you love, then you can make your own. As I said, you just need to buy some glycerin, have some oil, some water, and you can create your own spray. Or as I said, look online to either buy it, and there's so many instructions to show you how to make how to make it. So great that you're actually thinking of that, Lou. That you've used sage, but you're thinking of other things that don't include burning stuff. So, right, okay, you missed the beginning. Yeah, I was talking about aerospace. So go back and rewatch the beginning once the show's finished, of course, because obviously not because we've still got a couple more things to talk about, a couple more spiritual tools to talk about. Wonderful, excellent. And then do let us know, in the future, whether you've bought one, whether you've made your own, because it'll be absolutely brilliant to hear from you. So what you got next for us, Sally?
I'm going to introduce you to my wand.
Ooh.
So a lady who's a hedge witch gifted this to me, and it's made of ivy. And her energy is just so beautiful. And what I love, I'm going to talk about two different kinds of wands. I'm going to talk about the wooden wands, because I use both, and a crystal wand. But I'm starting, not that I should have favourites, but this wooden one is my favourite. Because she was gifted to me, and she's from the woods near where I live, and she's just got the most beautiful energy. So a wooden wand is like an extension of your will or your intention or sort of your life force energy. You can use it for things like activating grids, like crystal grids or copper grids. You can use it towards if you're doing some form of ritual and you want to stir like moon water or something like that. You can use your wand for that. It projects and focuses your energy, and because it's made of wood, it's uniting you with sort of the consciousness of Earth. You're able to connect to Mother Gaia, and it's got this high vibrational sort of spiritual energy about it, which kind of amplifies your own energy. So when you work with it, you accentuate or increase those qualities. So I use this for healing rituals. I use it if I'm repotting plants. I will use my wand and just I'll circle the pot, and I'll circle the plant when it's done, just giving her that energy. Or my plants are my babies. Giving them the energy to be able to grow and that kind of thing. I use them to when I'm doing like healing on myself or others, as a way of focusing the energy, and also to beam outwards to carry my intention. I use it if I'm places and I want to have a clear space, a clear energy, and before I do a ritual outside, like at my local sacred site, I'll use this one to cast a circle, and then we perform a ceremony or whatever inside the circle. It's kind of a way of almost like energetic boundaries. Like it's almost like you're creating an energetic temple or energetic sacred space. It is what I would say. Now, you again, like Ray was saying, when you first work with a new wand, you need to cleanse it, just like Ray was saying, like Palo Santo or something like that. You connect to it. You might want to do a ritual to connect to it, like under a full moon or something like that. And that way, your wand. That's why I call her a her, because they become an extension of your own self. But I also have a crystal wand. This is selenite, and then it's got the different crystals for the chakras, and it's got a generator point. A generator point can be made of any crystal, but each side of it has to be exactly the same. And that is a generator point. Now, a generator point can be used in the same way I was talking to you about for the wands in terms of activation. And I've got separate ones that I put in the middle of crystal grids. But for me, this, as well as activating crystal grids, the main thing I use this for is actually cleansing my own aura. So before I go to bed, I'll cleanse my aura because it's got selenite in there too. And this I found is a really good way of cleansing my aura and other people's auras. And if you go to hotel rooms or something and you're not allowed to burn candles or something, and the hotel room's got a bit of icky energy, just use this to cast around the square, like the edge of the boundaries of the room, and then put it by your pillow, and this helps just cleanse that energy, particularly because it's selenite. And then obviously with the activator point at the end, the generator point, that's amplifying that energy. And I wouldn't be without this. It's always a bit like a laser. I kind of feel a bit Star Warsy, because when you're charging the grids and stuff, like that one, I feel like I'm Gandalf with this, or Professor McGonagall or something. With this, I actually do feel I should be on like Star Wars or something, and this is my high vibrational lightsaber. And it's got quite a clear, precise energy. It's amplifying and uplifting, and I wouldn't say it's earthy and grounding at all, really. So same tool, made of different material, and both have different purposes.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things, for people to remember, is that no tool will do exactly the same thing. It will do something similar, but it always works to how you are, to what your energy is. And again, in the end, it's the intention and your energy, and these are just tools that help amplify or give you focus.
That's exactly it. Yeah. That's exactly, yeah. You summed it up beautifully. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I have got a crystal wand that's got an angel on the end of it, and I normally have that underneath my therapy bed. And I did get a wooden one with some crystals on and some wire work that I picked up from a guy selling them outside the Chalice Well a few years ago.
Oh,
So I've got one of those upstairs, but that just tends to sit on my altar. I don't anything. But then that segues nicely into what I'm going to talk about next, which is your altars. Um, altars are not just for witches, or they're not just for Christian, for Roman Catholics or any, the church or anything like that. Altars are for everyone and everything, but they are really, really personal things. They're a reflection of your spiritual path, what's meaningful to you. I tend to create altars, especially around the Sabbats, to honor the seasons and shifting energy. So I'll collect, things from nature. There'll be candles. I've got my selenite crystal, my selenite angel on there. I've got a Buddha. I've got various other things on there, and those that have seen me before I had my backdrop will have known that my altar is in the corner of the room I'm in at the moment, and that's the one that I tend to use at the different Sabbats. But I've also got a permanent altar up in my therapy room, and it's filled with angels, crystals, candles, and some other objects that carry a special energy and intention for me, including that wand that I've got up there. And in fact, I've even got a onyx and a what is the material? You can see through it. It's not quite selenite. I can't remember, but I've got two Bastet statues, two cat statues, that I picked up in Egypt. So I've got a black one and a white one on either side of there. So that's my main altar, my therapy room. But your altar doesn't actually have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as just a candle and a few items that feel sacred for you. And really what an altar is, it's about creating a focal point for your energy. So it's a place where you can connect, give thanks, or set intentions. I often think of an altar as a physical reminder of our connection to the divine, a little piece of sacred space in everyday life. And, again, you don't need to have a big space. I know of people that have a little box that's hidden away, that's got a bit of cloth in it and has got some crystals and a candle and something, and they bring that out as an altar as and when they need it as a focal point. So you don't need to have a permanent altar. You can have a traveling altar, and and if you're in a household where somebody might be a little bit, you've just got an altar there, a mantelpiece. They don't need to know it's an altar. Technically, if you think about it, a mantelpiece above a fireplace, what does it often have on? Pictures of family, friends, maybe a couple of candles. So, you can create an altar without people knowing it's an altar. You just know it's your intention, which I think is pretty good. So you can create altars out of anything. But it is, really to give you that focus, that intention, and to celebrate things that are important to you in your life. So do you have a altar, Sally, at all?
I've got 4. So I have one in my cabin. If you find me on Facebook, Sally Hart, or Instagram, Sally Hart, I've got photos of my current altar. So at the moment, there is an apple made out of cold porcelain painted red that my son made me. It's got, I'm just looking across now at it because it's just to the other side of this camera. It's got a pumpkin bowl, which has got acorns in it. It's got some crystal mushrooms. It's got a spirit doll in the middle, a spirit doll of autumn. It's got some clear quartz hearts, a double pointed labradorite, and a goddess. So that's my autumn themed one that's in here. And then by my bed, I have one which is unicorns, selenite, clear quartz, lepidolite, just for things to do with mental health, balance, and relaxation. In the dining room, I have got one on top of a bookshelf, which has got my different sort of spirit dolls. It's got the wand, and it's got two beautiful statues of Mother Mary. One of them's really old. It's from the 1700s that I was gifted. She's beautiful. And then, I don't know if anyone remembers, maybe grandparents having them, that they were these, before they had fridges, they used to have these units. The top bit you'd put cups in, and then you'd have a pull down bit, which is where you'd keep all the milk and everything, and it had a cold slab in it, like a larder cupboard. I've got one of those that somebody did up for me, and that is one of my altars. And that was my first one because it's in the bit that you pull down. And then because I've got a few people in my family who are very Christian, and I wasn't quite ready to come out of this. Now I don't care.
Yeah.
But at that point, I wasn't ready to come out of the spiritual closet. So I just used to be able to shut the lid and the door, and nobody knew I had an altar. So yeah, but my altars, they've got different purposes, and that one that I've just spoken about is more about my goddess altar. So I've got different goddesses on there depending on the season, and when I do my goddess circles, I'll bring in different images of the different goddesses. But again, I would agree it's a focal point. And I find it easier to meditate in the presence of my altar than I do, say, somewhere else, really. I think it is to do with the intention, and it's almost like these physical reminders that spirit know that you want to work with them, and they're ready. Just like, in Hinduism, they all ring a bell on their altar to let the goddesses and the gods know. I kind of feel it's a similar thing. It's like, hey, I'm going to light my candle on my altar now. Hey guys, you ready? And then they come to work with us. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, let us know in the comments if
Yeah, I'd love to know.
you've created altars, whether you're inspired to create an altar, whether you're going to have a little portable one you hide, one that's going to be out in full view. So what are you going to talk about next, Sally?
So my last thing is this, and it's called a besom, and it's a sacred broom. And this was made by the same lady who gifted me my wooden wand, and she's she's like a hedge witch. I use this particular sound coming up. I go to a local sacred site and I'll use this for part of a clearing ceremony, and I will also use this at Imbolc, which is roughly February the 2nd, and I use this then for we clear the space using this, and each person has a go at doing it themselves, and it symbolises getting rid of the old, ready to bring in the new. And obviously I feel it comes from, witches' brooms, but really people did used to clean their houses using these. They weren't witches' brooms. Everyone had one, and some people still do. And you were talking about yours, weren't you? I don't know if you want to talk about yours in a minute.
Yeah.
Because people do still use them for that purpose, and what I like, again, it's masculine and feminine united. So funnily enough, the handle of the wood embodies the
Sally.
It does. And the bristles are the feminine.
Do you think any young people know about, when it's called wood? Or is that an older generation thing?
I'm hoping it's an older generation thing. I'm hoping it's just a Sally and Ray thing, and nobody. Although Taylor Swift just released a song about it, so
Oh, right,
I
okay.
think some young people do know about it.
Oh,
Anyway, goodness me. So it's a liminal tool. That means it moves between worlds. It moves in the gap between seasons, in the gap between the turns of the wheel. And that is when we use it most for clearing the energy to make way for the new, but also protecting thresholds and sacred spaces. Because at Sound, it's the gap between, you have there's different dimensions, different realms. And at Sound, the gap between the different realms gets thinner, as it does really at every Sabbat. But this is good then for clearing the space and protecting those thresholds, so that only those of love and light and for the greatest good come through. So you would use this before a ceremony in that way. It's also a symbol of flight and freedom, representing the soul's ability to transcend and to raise up, which is interesting in itself because back in the day they said that the divine masculine could transcend. So they believed that men could raise their vibrations and get higher, and women were embodied and they could only connect to the earth. So with these, it shows that some people were aware that women could also raise their vibrations and, raise and become more psychic or more spiritual, things like that. It wasn't just for the men.
yeah. Cool. Well, I'm not going to say that size matters.
This one, I literally got myself straight from the last one.
So, this is my which is a little bit big, and people have said, "Do I actually go out riding out on it on Samhain?" So I need to put that back so it doesn't fall down. Probably going to fall down though, isn't
But
it?
can you tell us the story about how you got that?
Yep, just that. So yeah, so the story is my mum knew a Russian lady called Violetta, and she'd brought that with her. And then when she went back to Russia, but she didn't want to take it with her, so she gave it to my mum, and my mum had no space for it, so she gave it to me.
It's
So,
amazing.
so I've used it, ever since. And again, I use it for cleansing the energy, especially around someone and in bulk, to clear the energy. And it's a great, if I want to do any pictures about Halloween or anything, like when I had my previous cat Gypsy, she was a black cat. So there is a picture about somewhere with my broom in the corner, her sitting on the chair, with the tagline going, "Just getting ready to go out."
Oh,
And that's so, yeah. So again, it just goes to show that it doesn't matter what size the object is, or how it's made. Again, it's the intention behind it as to how it works for you. So if you have space for a larger broom, great. If you only have space for a smaller broom, that's just as good. They do exactly the same thing. It's just your intention that gives them the power and the energy.
yeah. Yeah, that is true.
So the last thing I'm going to be talking about today is candles and candle magic. I'm not going to go into the intricacies of candle magic because there's so much stuff you can look online, but candles are literally beautiful, timeless energy. And I always light a candle when I'm doing any healing or spiritual work, because for me it represents light, presence, and connection. The flame itself feels alive, like a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. Now, you don't need to have, you know, great big candles or anything. I literally use tea tree lights most of the time. And in fact, people know what Christmas presents, birthday presents, I always ask for unscented tea tree lights. And again, I go for the unscented candles, tea tree lights, because obviously I'm using my aura sprays and my diffusers, so I don't want the smell to actually mix. Although I have used candles that people have made that have got natural oils in them. I don't tend to buy the shop smelly ones, because to me they have a chemical smell, which doesn't really resonate. And the beauty with tea light candles is that they're small, and they've got their own little casing, so they're easy to light. And if you're doing any candle magic and you don't have the time for a big candle to burn down, then you can use that for it. I mean, you can also get coloured, candles, which you can use for particular magic. So, candle magic can be as simple or as detailed as you want it to be. It's about setting intention and letting the candles carry that energy to the universe. So you might choose colours that will match your intention, like maybe pink for love, green for healing or money, purple for spiritual connection. They can be, and you don't need to stick to a specific color. Yes, color gives a bit more sort of like focus for you. When you think of pink, you think of unconditional love. Green, healing, or your darker green could be money. But if you only have a white candle or a different colored candle, again, you can set the intention. Oh, I want to bring love into my life. I've only got a purple candle. Okay, so you set the intention, and you charge the candle to have the energy. Or a tea tree like candle, you just set the energy, and you can carve into it if you want, the sigil of a spell. There are so many things that you can do. And as the candle burns, it helps to release and manifest that energy of what it is you're calling in, whether it's clarity, love, money, healing, etc. And even if you don't do magic with candles, just lighting one before meditation or prayer just creates a sacred atmosphere and signals to your energy that you're entering a special place, and that you're ready. Again, it's like the aura spray or the Palo Santo or the crystal bowls or anything else you use, or your altar, just to get you into that beautiful space for you to actually do the work that you need to do. So Sally, do you use candles a lot? I mean, I use them all the time, especially because of angels are connected to light and candles, and I love my light.
Yeah, so I've got candles all around. Most of my altars have got a candle next to them, and they are something that I use quite regularly. I use little jar candles. I've still got a lot of like the chemical ones left over, but I'm not going to start. And I'm not going to. I'm just going to use them up before I start with the other ones. But I have also got some beeswax candles, and apparently burning beeswax also cleanses the energy of a
Mm.
room. It's the one of the only ones that candles are made of it actually literally clears the energy and clears the oxygen in the room. So yes, I have got some beeswax ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
candles are just so amazing. But just remember to always watch them and don't leave them burning
that
um,
is the thing. Yeah,
elsewhere. You want health and safety. Always watch a candle and never burn it round fabrics or anything flammable. There. So Lou says it's so interesting. I'm glad you're finding it interesting, Lou. What diffusers do you use? There are many out there. I mean, I've got three that I use. I've got one in my living room, which is a round one, which I've actually got two that were Now, I won't actually say what company they were from, um, but I've got one around one and it changes colours. Then I've got one up in my therapy room, and then I've got a little travel one that has got a USB to it. So literally, you can plug it into a computer, or you can plug it into a special plug and put that in. But that's it's a little travel one. So you can use that for traveling around. It's a case of looking online, or and seeing which one, what type you want, whether you just want it to smell, whether you want it to change colours. It's entirely up to you as to what diffuser you want to use. I actually prefer them to candle burners, where you have a base where you put a candle in, and then you put oils or
Oh, yeah,
melted
yeah.
candles on top. I mean, I've got several of I've got those dotted about the house as well, but I tend to prefer to use the diffusers for those ones. So they're the spiritual tools that we were talking about. If there's any that you want to know more information about, before we leave, that we might be able to tell you about, then do get that in quick. If not, we can always put them in the comments, and we will circle back and we can answer them direct
Yeah.
on the topics in the comments, and give you some more information on them.
Or even tell us tools that you're using that we've not
Mm.
mentioned. You're like, oh, you're quite surprised that we haven't mentioned a particular tool, because we want to know, if there's something good that you're using, we want to use it.
Yeah, exactly. Share, get that information out there.
Mm.
That's really what, part of what this show is about, is spreading that information, sharing it, so that we can all,
Mm.
take this knowledge, this information, to create a beautiful bubble of energy for everyone.
Yeah.
So, now that we've explored the topic, and I'm not seeing anything else coming up, Sally, have you tuned into the energies of
Yes.
the
So,
next few weeks to see what guidance we're being offered?
yes. So this is what I'm getting through. So I'm in a lot of my readings and my groups. Times are tough for people. People are struggling. There's a lot of stuff going on in people's lives. Oftentimes it might be stuff that is normal, stuff that's going on that you're used to, but it's harder to deal with at the moment than it has been before. Stuff that you'd easily just be able to just, overlook and not get too involved in. You're really struggling with it. And then in the spiritual circles, what people are saying, oh, yes, but you're not getting anything you didn't sign up for. You all decided to sign up for this. And that just makes you feel 10 times worse. So I tuned in and specifically asked about this. And what they said was, okay, yes, we did sign up for it, but that work is done. We have done that work now. That karmic stuff, clearing those ancestral lines, we have done it. The important thing we need to do now is to move forward with joy and love and seeing the magic in all things. What it was actually Yeshua who was I was channeling into, and what he was saying was that any of the not so positive emotions just act as these blocks that then block us from source. If we can remember that we are created in that aspect of divinity, we have that spark of divinity within us, and start putting ourselves first, looking for the joy, doing little things, looking for those glimmers, bringing those glimmers into our life, we will then become stronger in ourselves. Our central column will become stronger. We'll be able to connect more easily to source, and we will have like this suit of armor but on the inside, and all the other stuff that's going on in our lives or going on in the world is just going to bounce off us, because we are bringing that joy and that love and that, sort of the magic of life into ourselves, and all that other stuff just will either cease to affect us or won't affect us so deeply. We'll be able to just lay it to one side. So that is what I'm suggesting and going forward to be honest, for the next couple of weeks.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's see what the cards want to say. Obviously, Sally was talking. I cleansed and blessed them. So what do we all need to know for our highest good for the next few weeks? What do we all need to know for our highest good for the next few weeks? So let's see what we have got. We have got secret seances, spirit world messages, assistance, memories.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful? A beautiful card. So what this is saying to me is that the spirit world in the next few weeks, and obviously we've got Samhain coming up, so this makes absolute sense why this card would come up with the vows, with the veil being so thin, is that it's going to be easier for us to connect to the spirit world, to connect to our departed loved ones, our ancestors, and to know that when those memories come through of the past, they are there to help us move, to be present so that we can move forward. So we're no longer worrying about them. So if you find that your dreams are a lot more stronger, you're remembering them more, you're noticing synchronicities much more, you're hearing little whispers, know that that's absolutely fine for the energy at this moment in time, because even though Samhain is the time when the veil is the thinnest, at the moment the veil is thinning. It's not as heavy as it normally is at this time of year. Now, whether that's because of the comets and the different objects that are going through the sky at the moment, I don't know, but the energy, the veil at the moment, I think going forward into November is going to be quite thin. So don't be surprised if things that normally only happen round about Samhain, or when you're, people doing seances or stuff like that, start coming in. It's just that we are ready now for that, for those messages to come in. So do not be scared of it, and see it with light and joy. Bring in that light and joy for anything that comes in. See it with light and joy, and things, that will clear away any negativity or fear that you might have. Bring joy and happiness and light into it. So I hope that makes sense.
It does.
For the month. And Dawn Price is here. Hi, Dawn. Good to see you. And April says, I love that you called them glimmers. That's what my daughter calls them. Yeah, I love that. I love that word, glimmers. I think that's absolutely fun and amazing. So I'd like to, both of us would like to thank you so much for joining us on today's A Cup of Spirituality. We hope you found something meaningful to take away from this episode. And remember, this is your community and we'd love to hear from you. So don't forget to share your thoughts, like this video, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next chat. As we said, if there's any spiritual tools you use or you want to ask about, put them in the comments, both on Facebook and YouTube, and we will circle back to them and answer them for you, which will be absolutely great.
Yeah, and if you want to connect with us personally, you can find all our details in this description below. And we just want to support you on your journeys in any way we can. So until the next time, take care, stay curious, and keep sipping your spirituality.
A cup of spirituality. Oh, actually, before we go, have you got anything coming up, Sally?
Oh, I do. I have a goddess circle on Monday. It's in person in Verwood, Dorset, centre of the universe. So if you're local to Verwood, and I have my Sunday evening meditation group. So if people, and that's an online one. So anyone's welcome. 7:30 on a Sunday evening. Just message me, and I can send you the Zoom link.
Beautiful.
What about you, Ray?
Yes, well, I have got my afternoon with the angels, which is coming up on Sunday, the 26th, where if you live local to the Dartford area, you can come in person, where we have an afternoon from 3 till 5 with an afternoon with the angels, and we're going to have tea and coffee. But if you don't live in my area, then you can join online for the meditation, the card readings, the chats. I just won't supply you with tea and biscuits or cake, so you can supply your own ones with those. And I am part of the 45-day Keys Challenge based on the Prayer of St. Francis, which is going on at the moment. And on the 8th of November, I'm going to be live, and I'm going to be talking about the key of light. Surprise,
Oh,
surprise. From darkness, let there be light. So I'm going to be talking about light, possibly candles and everything else. So do check that out. It's a 45-day challenge that's been going on, but you can watch the catch up. And there's 9 keys over 45 days. And if you're interested, our next show, when we are going to be going live, is on Thursday, the 20th of November. And we're going to be talking about moon cycles.
that's going to be exciting.
It is. It is. So let's finish the show again with a cup of spirituality. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.